Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame them? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
They mad.
They're mad, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one that's food gets out.
We gotta move forward.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Well, hello everybody over there in the chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Mr. JW,
Hey,
how are you doing?
doing great. Thank you very much.
That's good.
It's snowing pretty hard up here.
It looks like it. Hey, I tell you what, it was like close to 90 again today. Oh, let's see what it was. But the humidity was a little bit low. So I was able to tolerate it a little bit. It was 91 and the humidity was 56.
We were 91 earlier. It's 83
Yeah.
here now.
That was when I come out of the bee yard today. I worked one whole hive today.
That's about my pace. You and I make a good pair.
Yeah.
I had a swarm yesterday, Joey.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
You catch it?
And, well, no. I was planned on it, and my wife had a little medical problem, and I had to go pick her up some. Her prescription was ready, and while I was gone to get her prescriptions, which was maybe 45 minutes total, they flew the coop on me.
Oh, really?
They had swarmed up in a big pine tree. There's up about 40 feet, but I've got that super duper swarm catcher now. I was going to get them, but I didn't. They was on to my thinking because they left the country before I got back.
Yeah.
So
I'm just kind of clicking on names I'm seeing pop up over here. I pulled in one dead out today. I did that too.
Yeah.
I lost where I was at.
I'm not sure. I haven't been in them hives there today to see for sure. My landing boards all look okay on the conventional Langstoff. I got one. I kind of feel like maybe I've got one horizontal that I got off of Ricky. I kind of think maybe that sucker might have. It's got an observation, glass in it, and
Yeah.
it don't look like I've got the bees that I had, a couple weeks ago. So I wonder maybe if it didn't swarm on me. So.
Yeah, after I worked that one hive that I added a box to, I went through it kind of peeking a little bit and added a box to it. And I'd been noticing one that was a little bit slow out front compared to everybody else, kind of light.
Yeah.
And I peeked inside and I figured out why. They'd done, I guess, died out, absconded or whatever, and it had robber bees in there. And they wasn't tearing it up real bad. They'd already took about half the honey out, I guess, in the second box. And didn't have, I could see some beetles running around in there, but not a whole lot. So I was able to save it.
Yeah.
Losing a hive don't bother me that much. I don't like losing them. But that don't bother me as much as not knowing that they abscond and then come back 2 weeks later when it's all destroyed.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh.
I'm about the same way. I just figure I'm getting to the stages with all the hives I've got, and with the stage in life, it's one less hive I got to worry about if they leave me.
I don't know who I missed.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're getting a pretty good crowd on here.
Mm.
I wasn't expecting this many to show up this early.
Well, like I said, I know Cayman's on, but they're talking. He's got
Yeah.
Zach Hansen on there, and they're doing the queen thing. A lot of people not into the queens, so I
I'm gonna go ahead and mention it now, and I'll probably mention it again later when there's more people on. Next Saturday, unless something changes, I won't be able to host a live. Um, I've got two grandkids that started LSU. That's their move-in date. One of them's in the morning, and the other one is at like 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'll be tied up with that. And if Mr. JW or anybody want to host it, that's fine. Um, I'll help any way I can. And the following week, what is that Saturday's date? That's Saturday 23rd. On the 22nd and 23rd, we have our Louisiana convention, and I'll be at it. Now it's actually over. I think like 3 o'clock. Sometimes I'm over sooner than that, so I may or may not make it home in time to start a live. We'll just have to play that one by ear.
yeah.
Unless some of y'all want to hold that one too. I have been working on this camera of mine today. It's always random, but I'll get to videoing, and a lot of times it's heat issues, and I get aggravated with the heat issues and everything. And sometimes it just happens random when I've got this mic hooked up to it. You can see sometimes you can see it. You can see that audio. It gives you a bar up there when you get an audio. Well, if you're not getting it, you can see that it doesn't do anything most times. Sometimes when you can see it for whatever reason, it just stops recording. It'll record the video, but not the audio. And I don't know it until I come home and start downloading uh, the videos to work on them. I realize I don't have sound, and that's so frustrating. And if I just pick up this camera and just start recording without putting an external mic in it, it does okay. I still have overheating issues this time of year, but you're gonna hear everything around me. You're gonna hear everybody's dog, all the birds, the wind, and that young man that has got the open pipes and he just drives like grandma. You're gonna hear all that. But when I'm using my external mic, every now and then it'll get that glitch. Now, part of the issue that I had on the video that I posted this morning was my fault because I got the mic set up now where when I turn it on, it's recording itself too. But I still got a habit of taking that mic off the shirt and just sticking it in here and closing it. That's okay when you're not recording, but if you're recording, you got to actually turn the mic off to save that recording before you put it in here, or it might corrupt that file. And for whatever reason, I stuck it in there the other day when I made that video, and I know I was in that little beehive 30 minutes, 20 minutes, just kind of slowly going through it, talking my way through it and everything. And I had the mic on recording even prior to that. And when it corrupted that file, all I got was the last 3 minutes in here. So the camera let me down and I let myself down. I just had to vent about that. But anyway, what I did today, I hit factory reset and then re-downloaded the updated software in them. So I'm going to see if that helps any. I don't know if something with that was doing it or what. I see. I do have that link posted if anybody wants to come in and talk with us. Hello there.
Hello. What's going on?
Not too much. I'm ranting about my camera.
Oh, yeah, I kind of heard you a little bit. We just walked in the door.
Yeah.
Have you been fishing or water skiing?
Actually, we were at the state fair. Well, fishing while we were water skiing, Tom says. We left Thursday for the state fair and we volunteered at the state fair all day Friday. Then today we came back and Isaac was doing a market at our Wildwood market and Andrew was doing a market at that old Threshers Club tractor show. So we went to relieve Andrew at the Threshers tractor show because that was an all-day event. So, and that's about 45 minutes away from us. So we literally just walked in the door from leaving the Threshers event.
Well,
So we were actually working, JW.
Todd's at the fair too. He's been at the fair all week. Showing his calf.
Not me.
Brian says volunteering and politicking at the state fair and no corn dogs. We did have some.
I think y'all.
That's loud, guys. Hold on, Tom's getting nice. It's loud.
The NBA bunch on your live or your post today that was out there working.
Yeah, there was
I guess you were working. Were you actually working, or you just out there politicking?
We were working. I mean, I was working. Tom was over there running his jaw, but
Yeah, no.
Ryan, I did not have funnel cake, but there was a food truck right outside the building that we were in, and they were selling these mini donuts. So I had in a bucket, you get a bucket of these mini donuts. There's 40 donuts in there. And so I got a bucket of cinnamon and sugar mini donuts. They tasted like funnel cake. It was good.
Joey, Huckleberry had a little question, wanting opinions from folks on the Apivar right now. I don't have anything against Apivar. I'm not using it this year, but I use it a lot of times this time of year. But I don't have any problems with it, using it. That's just my opinion. So I try to mix my treatments up. I'm using Apiguard if it ever cools down again. I had it all ready to put on and pop back up in the 90s again. So I'm going to hold off. And it's supposed to be in the 90s all next week up here. So
it's supposed to.
I'm going to hold off. And I went ahead and shot them with another go around. This is number 5 on the oxalic acid. I'll give him another shot. I gave him another shot of it yesterday.
It's supposed to go down to the mid to upper 80s here on Wednesday for Wednesday and Thursday. So I don't know. We were gonna do our other second dose of Apiguard then, but we'll see.
Now, you guys put it on a full dose too, did you not? Was you gonna
50
put
grams. We did 50 grams, but did it on 25 grams on 2 separate cards. Yeah. And then I think he did 14 hives with the Formic to try that out. So you did 20? I thought you only did 14. Apparently he did 20. So
What you up to, Mr. Todd?
Well, I'm dodging the heat. It's hot out here. I see JW got a lot of snow last night. That's nice.
Yeah.
I put that on there. Cannon's got Zach Einzelman on there from Hawaii. I figured I'd offset him with the little snowball job.
I woke up this morning and I thought I was on Mars. It was orange outside because I've been getting a lot of that smoke here, and I was out in it most of the day, and so I'm kind of got the junk going. But it was bad today. And that fire,
Valley fires out there.
That fire. It's basically southwest of me. It's on the coast, and the evacuation orders are getting closer and closer to Santa Maria. And my mom's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, don't worry, I'll drive over there. You can come over here for, however long. So it's been crazy. Just another day here, I guess. I did look at the bees today, though. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. You guys were talking about treatments. I made my homemade extend and release OA pads. And usually I leave them on until about day 60, day 65. And
hypothetically, you do this, right?
What's that?
Hypothetically, you do this, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking out loud, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking out loud again, and maybe you know what? I want to see how far they go, because they're still wet. So
Really?
I have pads out there right now. It's day 81 right now. So I'm
hey, Jamie and Brandy.
I'll do washes tomorrow and see. So 2 weeks ago I did washes on these, I think it's 7 hives that I decided to extend. So we'll see what happens. I'm just messing around. I can't do anything else. I can't use Apiguard. It's 106 degrees today.
Yeah, wow. That's gracious.
So yeah, I got to do something. That's about all I know.
All right, good chat. See you guys later.
Yeah.
That's about how I
Making Tom
feel
work
right
at night, huh? Are you making Tom work in the dark?
now.
Oh, there he is. Oh, he looks wore out. You must have made him work all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting behind the table selling all the stuff, and he's out there.
No way.
Yeah. Like, where did he go? No. The tractor show thing it's not really busy. It's kind of a little bit off the beaten path or whatnot. So it's easy to get bored out there. We just do it because his friend is the president of the association. He asked us to come out there. So it's more of a community outreach thing than anything, which is fine.
Yeah.
Isaac made money at his market. What are you laughing about? He must be texting somebody something.
Me.
Yeah.
Asking silly questions.
He must be causing trouble with somebody. He's over here giggling in the corner of the couch.
Asked me if I was interested in taking up wakeboarding. If I get that new sawmill, I could use one of them wakeboards. I'll cut it up for kindling.
I think JW is more interested in snow skiing and snowmobiling there with his background picture.
Well, let's do that.
That was this morning. It's all about building off now.
Oh man. Yeah, we won. So at the honey show at the state fair, we won the observation hive. Tom won Ricky's observation hive that he built us with the black locust and the lightning, whatever you call it. I can't ever remember what that's called. Fractals. Won, and Tom put bees in it. Won the first place for the observation hive. Then we had a honey frame that was in the display case that we won at Nobby that Larry and Marianne Sears donated. That won second place. And then we had some of our honeys won like 5th and 6th place ribbons. I didn't really put a whole lot of effort into the honeys for this show because had been at the lake and extracting honey, and I didn't have time to make them as perfect as I wanted to. So I was surprised they placed it all, to be quite honest. So that was exciting.
Are you tired from talking?
Yes, sir.
It sounds like he lost his voice.
He's choking on some of those. He's choking on nuts.
I was going to say, I'll email him a cough drop.
He's over there choking on some roasted pecans.
Good. Get out of there.
Yeah, I don't think those Tractor Supply buckets are really, really that heavy, are they, Brian?
So we got some. Was it Tractor Supply that you got those ones?
Farm and Home.
Farm and Home. Tom found some. How much were they?
I don't know, $5.
Yeah, like $4, and the lids were like $2.50, $1.99, something like that. So he went there to go get them because when he originally looked at them, they were 90 mil buckets. So we went back to get some, and we noticed all mixed up in the stacks. Some of them you had to flip every bucket over. Some of them were 70 mil, and some of them were 90 mil, and they were all mixed up together. So that was at Farm and Home out our way. Brian said you're tired from the bouncy house at the state fair.
Yeah.
You'll find that the majority of those buckets they put on special like that is 70 mil stuff.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Tractor Supply is the same way, but at Farm and Home, and they were the same price. They were all just in the same stack. Some of them will be 70 mil and some of them will be 90 mil. So we had to go through each bucket and see what was what. But most of the time we just get our buckets from Menards.
Yeah. Are you? I had a swarm yesterday, Melissa.
You? A swarm?
I had
No
a
way.
swarm yesterday.
Nobody would believe that.
You've been swarmy all year.
And guess what? I got my wife had a little medical problem, and they went up in about 40 foot up in a big pine tree.
Did you use your big lift thingy-majobber?
Yeah, I was going to get it out, and I was going to get them babies. And just as I fired her up, the wife texted me and said that her prescription was ready at Walmart, so I thought I'd run there real quick, and I'd be okay. Well, guess what?
They
When I
bolted.
got back, the bees had flew the coop.
How's your wife doing?
She's pneumonia. She's feeling better today.
I have heard so many people with pneumonia lately. It's ridiculous. I think 2 of Tom's siblings have had it, at least that I know of. And a couple other people just like recently within the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. I was a little concerned with her because she was having trouble breathing, with her heart condition. I didn't know whether it was pneumonia so we went to the emergency room, spent little time at the hospital, so they got her straightened up and sent us home and give her a lot of prescriptions to take. So she's feeling a lot better today.
Yeah. Good deal. I'm gonna go grab something real quick. I'll be right back.
What you talking about, Russell? It's not working right?
Nice to be on his end. Everything looks copacetic to me.
Hey, before she gets back, I just want to let you guys know the observation hive she had nothing to do with, nor the honey frame. Here she comes. Hey, babe.
So I've been melting all of our wax cappings in the John Solar wax melters, and this is just 2 of the hunks that we've gotten. This is actually without putting any paper towels over the grate. This is just, does that because there's water in the bottom of the pan. So this is what it's coming out of the solar, how clean it's coming out of those solar wax melters.
Yeah. I'm running quite a bit through there also, through one of them. Mine looks about the same as that.
Oh, that's right. You picked one up, didn't you?
But I didn't put the paper towel on mine. I've got a few little black specks and stuff. I'll redo it.
Mine's a lunar melter. So.
A lunar melter.
Yeah, lunar wax melter.
Yeah, I've got one of those too. Called a
mine's
crock
just,
pot. Mine, yes, they call them crock pots.
Mine is just as simple as an old box. I ran a dowel stick through the back end of it. I use a metal paint tray, and I punch a bunch of holes in the middle, not on the sides of the bottom of the tray there, but in the middle. Then I use an 1/8-inch hardware cloth, and then I'll put a piece of paper on there, and it goes to town like that. Looks just like that.
This is about 2 bus tubs worth of wax cappings right here.
Yep.
I went to grab my wax melter yesterday. It's sitting on a little back porch back here. It was pretty sunshiny. Before I could even pick it up, the clouds come over again. So I set it back down.
Those are Helco Solars, Rick.
Yeah, that's what I got.
That's what everybody's got. I've got one. They've got one. Joy's got one.
We've got 4 out on the back deck.
Well, you guys, that's what do you call it?
It'd take us 5 years.
That was a poor boy operation. Yeah, you can't.
Oh, poor man. What do you call it all the time?
That's fella. He knows what he's talking
He's
about.
trying to spit it out, but he's not getting there.
Well, just let him finish.
They got 4 of them. That's a poor boy operation, Joey.
Yeah.
It would take us 5 years to melt all those cappings if I didn't have multiple of those things.
Yeah. See,
It
Vince
takes
said he
about
went
one
to
good
steam.
sunny afternoon. Now you're trying to pull the old man's leg because I've got one of them too. And if it's a good 90-degree afternoon, good and sunny, he'll run a lot through one of them.
Mm-hmm. The problem is though, is you can't pull that tray out until it solidifies. So if you reload, refill it, you might melt too much, and then that tray's gonna that's whatever, and the bottom is gonna overflow. Because I've had that happen, and I've got a bunch of wax in the bottom of the melter, which it just pops up. It's not a big deal, but that's what I always
deal if you take her off when the sun's good and hot, because that thing will burn your hands.
Yeah, well,
that tray will.
Has anybody got the steam melter that Hilco made? Has? I'd be interested in seeing how that works. I've seen steam ones, but I've never seen that style work.
I like those solar ones though; those work well.
Mm-hmm. Later in the year, we just use an old turkey fryer, propane turkey fryer.
Yeah.
Try to get it all done before the heat goes away, though. But do what you got to do.
I waxed stick hives all yesterday afternoon.
And this hot, how was that? That's
Yeah,
always we
that
did
was
that last year.
pretty interesting job, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You had more boxes to do?
Yeah, I had some more boxes, and I made a bunch of 2-inch spacers. I wax tip all those. I think I did 70 spacers. So,
Brian, you won't be disappointed getting the clarifier.
Russell must have just got on. He must have had trouble getting on.
okay.
Hey, Russell.
Yeah, Jamie, that's the only thing about that Simple Harmony Farms on capper is you don't get much cappings to melt down using that.
Well, that's good in my case.
Yeah, but Jamie likes to do the honey shows and do the wax blocks and stuff like that. So he likes those wax cappings.
He's pretty good at it too.
What that says to me though is maybe he's not getting enough this year and he won't be able to compete at Nabi, so I have a better chance of winning.
Hey Brian, give us a pro and con on that
Brian, the pros and cons of the clarifier. You don't
also give us a pro.
You don't have to do the bucket shuffle and clean out filters constantly.
There's actually more than that. So I'm going to say the cons. If I'm thinking out loud, Brian, the con would be
storage.
Well, you have the cost of something that, I mean, is a little bit more. You have $1,000, basically. You have, let's see, storage. If storage is a precious commodity for you, you have storage, which is, I mean, it's not horrible, but just really picking it apart, I guess. Another con would be if you can't do small batches with it because it is oh my gosh. Brian, help me out. Is that a 20-gallon?
25-gallon, I think, aren't it?
20 or 24? I can't remember. Anyway, regardless, it's a 20 or a 24-gallon. So you really have to run larger extractions through it. There's that. On your extraction process, it will take up more room if that space is again a precious commodity to you.
24-gallon.
Let me think about this. It's not perfect, but it actually does really well. I'll say the pros, in my opinion, for what we've noticed, would be the fact that it does help clarify. I think it does work. We actually got from John, JL Apiaries down. He's kind of near Jacksonville, jlapiaries.com. I think it is. Anyway, he does the bucket alarm things, but he also does a activated switch on there that's made for the Hilco tank, or it's what he modeled it after. That'll actually be for sale, if not already, with John Hill at Hilco. That was actually a pretty good investment, honestly, because I didn't have to watch it or babysit it. I basically took one of the, we pumped it into drums. I took one of the, and Joey's got one or two as well. The bucket alarms, I put it inside the barrel and I pumped everything up into there. So the automatic float would kick on and kick off when the clarifier filled up to a certain level. It'd kick on when it got to be within say 2 inches or so at the top. And then it pumped it down, a few inches each time. And then I had the bucket alarm in there. So if it filled up and I wasn't paying attention, it would start audibly going off. So the two of those things in combination with the clarifier were actually very helpful, to be honest with you. Let's see, what else was
heated. I think heated's probably important because it keeps that honey moving.
It does. It'll also keep any of that wax and stuff floating to the top. Now, we didn't actually run it on anything hot. I think I did like 115 or 120.
Well, we didn't have to. The garage was 104 degrees while we were extracting.
Well, let's just suppose that you're not extracting in the middle of summer. But let's just suppose you're extracting in fall. Well, say in fall in Colorado, you're doing it on a day that's, 50, 60 degrees or something. I mean, even honey that's not, really dried down and thick is going to be a little bit more difficult to move. So, having some now, John Hills is only heated on the bottom. It's not heated around all the sides as well. So if that's important to you, then, it is what it is. But most clarifiers are going to start off at about $2,000. So
Can't that tank be used as like storage too? Like me, I may cherry pick and do a few frames every day.
yeah,
Well,
it sure could.
It has
Leave it in there
lids,
until it actually comes out.
so it's not like it's airtight though. There's lids to it, but they're not airtight lids.
It's a 2-piece lid that'll fit over the top, basically.
I mean,
So,
you can still keep bugs and stuff out, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can stretch over some
So
cloth.
if you bring a couple boxes a day through there, eventually you'll have honey coming out of it.
Right.
Sure.
It's
Right.
always in there. It'd probably help even clarify it better.
Clarify, as well as if you needed to dry it down, you could run dehumidifiers in that space.
Yep.
You're creating a little bit more surface area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be considered a pro too, I guess. Not long. Brian's asking, so what size extraction run? Well, that's a good question.
Did you see that question he asked?
It'd take a while, I would guess. I don't even have one. I'm thinking about building one. It won't be stainless, but if a guy keeps it clean, keeps it oiled, why? They're not that hard to build. All they are is, they use them out here for in the oil fields. The water goes through and the oil floats to the top and comes on off.
Mm-hmm.
Same principle.
Maybe he's asking a question.
Yeah, I guess it was a decent harvest. I mean, we had a lot more colonies out there producing honey, but I mean, overall, I wouldn't say that the crop was better this year. It's probably, honestly, not probably. It was lesser this year than it had been in the past until we got to JW noticed the same thing until we got to the clover, and then it really started dumping in because it was so inconsistent here, kind of somewhat in the Midwest, where we had nectar sources producing, but we had so much rain, it was washing things out, keeping fly days down and stuff.
We still produced more honey this year than we ever have.
Yeah,
but we
used
also
more
had
colonies.
a lot more colonies.
Right.
So if you take that into effect, it wasn't a great.
Per colony, it was less, but overall,
what
it was
we
more.
pulled in was good. Yeah.
Okay.
The heated bottling
I
tank.
give up on drying on mine. I got it down everything below 18. And I said, the heck with it. I throwed it in buckets. If it keeps, fine. If it don't, fine. But I think it will.
Jeff, when we do our bourbon barrel honey, we put it in the bottling tank and turn the heat up and run a dehumidifier in there because it's always wetter when it comes out of those barrels.
So to get back to Brian's question, he said at least what size extraction run. I didn't really answer that. That is actually really a good question, and I don't really know the specific answer to that. I mean, at some point in time, I guess the more honey you do, the more you would be able to realize that investment. The smaller the batch, the lesser it would be.
Well, if it's 24 gallons, you want to at least fill up that clarifier.
Well, if you're just doing 24 gallons, it's not worth it.
Right.
It definitely wouldn't be worth it. So, I mean, you can kind of average out what each frame would hold, each medium frame would hold as far as, what is that? Roughly 3 pounds of honey, 3.5, maybe closer to 4. What do you guys think? I know I weighed it before, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I want to say 3 to 3.5 pounds of honey per each medium.
Brian, at 3,000 pounds of honey, the clarifier is going to work great for you.
Yeah. At 3,000, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used it last year and we pulled 2,000 pounds and it was amazing.
Brian, what I would suggest is because it's only you and maybe your wife or your son or something doing it, and you're going to be doing smaller batches, if you can put it in a space and just, start extracting, uncapping, however you're doing it, letting it run into the clarifier. And then when you're done for the night, as long as you can close the space up and keep dirt, debris, and bugs and stuff out of it, just leave it in there until the next day, or you go back to it, and then you can start the process back up without having to empty it out. So I would not empty it out overnight.
I can already see Brian with that cart going down through Nobby, looking around, pushing it, just like last year. Where's Jen? Where's Jen? headed out the door.
Yeah.
Well, Brian was talking about cleaning out his garage and starting extracting in his garage. This might be.
I think you should do that, Brian. I think that you would look. I think it's gonna be a lot of work up front, but I think you'll look back on it and go, "I'm glad that I did this."
Well, that'd be. It's going to take 250 pounds just about to fill that clarifier up, Brian. That's what it amounts to. 250 pounds, that's a little over. That'd be a little over 4 buckets or 4 full 5-gallon buckets. So that's you know, that's about 24 gallon. That's just about what it takes to fill up a clarifier. Or that one, that Helco, if I understand it correctly. I don't have one, but I've been doing some reading on it and looking at it. I'm going to copy one though. I'm going to make my own, I think.
If I was going to make the consideration now that I've used it, how much honey would I want to be able to extract in a run to justify the costs, this time-saving measure versus the cost of the clarifier that you would purchase? And I'm thinking at it from the Hilco $1,000 mark, not the $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 on some of the other ones. I think that I would want to see no less than 2,000 pounds of honey. That's my opinion.
Mark's got a question.
No, it does not, Mark. No, it doesn't. I mean, that pump, the way it works, I'm pretty sure it would pump debris too. Now, I wouldn't want to put anything through there like wood or metal or something, but if it had just wax in it and not big, huge chunks, I don't think I'd have a problem with it. I'm pretty sure it would float it. I mean, it has an 1.5 inch port on each side, and it's got, I don't know, it does a pretty good job.
We haven't had it clog yet.
Honestly, I would say this: if I had to choose over the clarifier or the pump, I'd get the pump. I would leave the clarifier, and I would actually make my own tank or something to clarify into. Even a
Barrel,
15 or 20 gallon barrel you could use as a clarifier. You know, you could put a hose in there and pump it out of there, let it all rise to the top, and work that way. I know a guy that does as much honey as I do with a Lyson automatic on capper and set up, and that's what he does. And he's like, it works fine for me. I think the clarifier probably clarifies it a lot better than what he's doing. But he's a little bit less picky about it than I am. I have to say, we did use that 500 micron, I guess you call it a sieve. I don't want to say filter. It's really screen, whatever, that I got from Nobby from that guy. I really like that. It goes in the top of a barrel. And
who did I say we got that from?
I don't know. I mean, if you guys are interested in taking a look at it,
Harbor Fab.
I think that I was a little bit reluctant at first. I actually talked to Cameron Reynolds about it because he had one, and talked to him. There was somebody else I talked to. Oh, gentleman down in Southern Missouri that had one. He had to make a few of them for him. And then I talked to the manufacturer, and I made a few custom changes to what I had done specifically. But I'm actually really happy with it. I'm glad that I bought it. I mean, it wasn't really cheap, but I mean, that's a lifetime piece in my opinion. So
Harbor Fab was the name.
Yeah. JW, are you going to extract any more honey, or are you on the
As of today, no, I marked some supers that's got honey in them, and I pulled the quinine cleaners out from underneath if I may just leave them on. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty disgusted over the honey deal this year.
Hey, Brian, I would see what you could do about making sure that you would seal up all the spaces where bees can get into the shed at. Or, I mean, again, if it's an option for you, the garage would be a good space for you. Honestly, you'd have a little bit more room to move around. You could wheel a bunch of supers in there at once and put a dehumidifier in there. I don't know. I don't know how important all that stuff is to you. But
Ron, if the bees bother you during the day when you're extracting, If you extract during the day, just take your shotgun out there, put rock salt in it, and shoot them suckers. It'll work.
Can you make a video doing that, please?
Yeah, I could do that.
You'll have 500,000 views in short of a week, I promise. Maybe even 1 million.
Was you in on my conversation with your wife? I had a swarm yesterday.
Oh, I did hear that. Yeah, I was sitting on the couch at that point. Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I tell you, them suckers, I'm mad at bees.
They're just not cooperating this year very well, are they?
Not in my world. It's been a year from Hades.
Yeah. Mark, in my opinion, it would work. I don't believe it would work to the degree that a clarifier would, but I do believe it would work. You know, it might take, when you first started pumping into that cutoff barrel or dumping into it, I think that it would take a little bit of time for that wax to rise up. Turn that light on. Please. This is that, I'm going to call it a sieve, a screen. It's 500 micron, and it's got screen all on the outside. This right here is roughly, I don't know, 5.5, 6 inches. And it's got these tabs that go around on the 4 corners. Now, I had mine extended out a little bit more because I'm using drums. And right now I'm using a plastic food grade drum. A plastic food grade drum mouth is a little bit smaller or narrower than a metal drum. And I wanted the option to be able to use both. So it has this nice little handle on it, which is pretty handy. I had him put this loop on there too. So if you wanted to shove a hose to there, it'll hold 1.5 inch or a 2-inch hose. I actually have a special hose holder though that works. But I don't know. I mean, this is all stainless. It worked really well for me, and I'm really happy with the purchase. So he was even selling them for 5-gallon buckets too. So, and he'll custom build whatever you want. So like I said, I made a few changes, and I beefed up a couple areas on it, adjusted the tabs a little bit, had him put the hose holder piece on there. And then you can custom order whatever screen that you want. I told him I wanted 500 micron, and that's what I used. So for me, it worked well. It was just an extra layer of, and so it's going to be hard for y'all to see. See that debris that's in there? Now, I only cleaned this thing out a couple different times, and it wasn't really even cake. So the last run that I ran, this would have been about a barrel of honey after it came to the clarifier, got pumped through there. So there's really not much debris. So that's kind of how well a clarifier does. And I don't know, my intention is not to strain, filter, whatever term you want to use, it down any more than what it already is through that 500 microns. It goes into the heated bottle intake.
Aren't those little jobbies you get that you buy online or wherever, aren't those a 4 and a 6?
A 2, 4 to 6. The bucket top ones.
Yeah.
You can get a 200, a 400, or a 600.
Oh, those double ones are a 4 and a 6, aren't they? Or are they not?
Yeah, the double one, the sieve thing. The more coarse one is not. Let me think about this. It's definitely more coarse than that. It's more coarse than even this 500. Let me think about this.
That'd be 400.
The bottom sieve might be 400. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. We have a few of them and have used them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was thinking it was 400 and 600. The top was 400 and the course was 400 and the bottom was 600.
I think that's what they are. 6 on top, 4 on the bottom.
Yeah. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've got the numbers backwards, but.
Oh, yeah, Brian, I didn't think about that. You're a much drier area than we are, so you may not even need to do that.
I may just ship my honey out there to him, man. I him dry for me. I've dried for 2 weeks and I got it down about 1.5 points. 2 weeks.
That was in your shop area, correct?
Yep. No air, just dehumidifier, which it's running the solids. It's just a trickle stream, but it's a solid stream, and 4 fans.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Brian.
It'd be rough spending that kind of money, and then after you use it a season, realize you didn't need it.
Well, I'll tell you this. A couple of things might be a little bit harder to part with, but I'm pretty sure you could probably still, if you found something that just did not work for you or you did not like it,
Yeah.
you could probably get a large majority of your investment back. In my experience, most of it holds a value pretty well. Some things more than others.
Yes. Nobby this winter, Brian. You come to Nobby this winter, you can pull that wagon back, haul all your stuff in it.
Make sure you fill it up with asparagus before you send it wet.
Yeah.
Oh. You know what, guys? I'm going to go. My throat's killing me. I don't know what's going on. Smoky air, all that, being outside all day, it's kind of wore me out.
It's corn pollen here is what their problem is. I can tell you that.
So I'll see you guys later on.
All right.
Have a good
Appreciate
evening.
you coming
See you,
on.
Todd.
Yep. See ya. Bye, Melissa.
So I don't know who THBKPR will pollen pass through that filter. Yes, it will. According to what I've read, most pollens range in size up to like 100 microns ish, 10, as low as 10. So, and that was one of the important things that I wanted to stress too. And I even asked Cayman that exact question whenever I was considering that. I said, I don't want to remove the pollens from the honey. I just want to get it where it's, very presentable on a shelf. So I still want that raw. Yeah, John. I mean, he could just try, you can buy like a food grade barrels, Brian, if you wanted to start with one and not the other and kind of see what it looked like. I mean, it's not going to be the exact same, but I think you could probably make it work just fine without having clarifying stages. Take a drum, something that's a little bit wider and bigger, and cut it off where it fits just underneath your extractors or whatever wherever your drains are at, and then just put a hose down in the very bottom of it. I mean, you could probably even on the bottom of a barrel hook up some plastic or some stainless fittings on there, and then hook a hose straight to the bottom of the barrel. You know what I'm saying? Like make your own tank, or even if you bought just some sort of tank that could work that had a hole in the bottom or fabricated something that you could hook a 1.5 inch hose straight to the bottom of it and then pull off the bottom. All the debris is going to rise up to the top, and it actually does it pretty quickly, particularly when it's warm. It's been my experience. It doesn't stay down the bottom, or it doesn't hang down low very long at all. It floats very quickly. That could be an option to try if you want to try to save a little cost, but purchase a pump or something. Hey, Clay, how did those springs work out for you? Joey, did you say that you had gotten some or you tried some springs?
What's that?
The springs for the bottom of your extractor?
No, I didn't get springs. I got some wheels for the bottom of my uncapping tank.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't got the springs yet.
Okay.
I'm anchored down.
Okay.
I don't know if it'd make much of a difference now that I'm anchored.
Yeah. If I was going to set something up and leave it in place, I would probably anchor it down as well, but I don't want to go drilling holes in my floor out there for that specifically. But I'm a concrete floor, not a wooden floor. So
Yeah, and then you decide you want it over here instead of over here.
yeah. Well, if I had a dedicated room or a space inside of a barn or honey house or whatever it might be, at that point in time, you could set it up and bolt everything down and leave it in place, so you don't have to worry about it. We used the springs too on the 32 and 36 frame extractor, and I was very happy with both of them. I actually like the 36 better than the 32. I mean, it's small differences, but they both worked well for me anyway. I didn't have to hold on to it much and babysit it really. It just seemed to
What, the 32's top drive and the 36's bottom drive?
That's right.
Isn't that the way they work?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah.
Now, is that 32? That's the one you're thinking about selling?
Yes, that's right.
Is that one like JW's? It'll hold any size frame?
Correct. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, so I don't want to say specifically, but it'll hold a lot of deep frames. It'll hold shallow frames, and it'll hold medium frames. I mean, I know it'll hold 32 shallows or mediums, and I can't remember for sure, but it'll hold. Oh, I don't think it'll hold quite 32 deep frames.
Okay.
I don't think, but
I think they will. And I don't have one now. Don't think my word. I think they're the same. You know.
It very well might be. You could be correct, but I don't want to say because I don't recall.
If you go to the 32, if you get 16 frames in it, every other one, even they go in a lot. Even that 24 I got from.
Yeah.
I use it a lot of times. I run it's faster to run them every other one to get them in and out without taking so much time. Them last 4 or 5, if you put them 100% side to side, it's some real crowd. It gets hard to get them in there sometimes.
The one thing I like the most is John on the newest extractors. John has, if you have a newer one, and I don't know exactly what year he started. It couldn't have been more than a year and a half ago, ish, maybe a year. I don't remember. But they have a program mode on there, and he has a pre-programmed setup in there, and I don't remember now what speeds it goes to. It goes like to, there's like 5 different speed settings. It starts off slower, it ramps up to one speed setting, holds there for like, I don't know, 2 minutes maybe ish. Goes to the next speed setting that's pre-programmed for another couple minutes or something. Basically, the last one, it runs a full 5-ish, I think, minute cycle at the highest RPM that the extractor will push. So basically the whole cycle, I think, is out at like 12 minutes. So you can time out exactly how many frames you can do with that on the program mode. I liked it. It all slung it out. I didn't have to worry about, was I spending 12 minutes? Was I spending 20 minutes because I was being distracted on something? It was all same. So if you're looking for like production numbers to know how much you can do in a day, it makes it much easier knowing that it takes 12 minutes to run how many frames your extractor will hold. So the program mode is really cool. I also know that it is adjustable. So you can go in there to a learn mode. I haven't done it. And you can adjust a lot of parameters inside that unit because it's all digital. You can have it. You can, I think, put more program modes in there. You can lengthen the times out, and you can change the spacing and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. That was something that's really cool. And I don't know that there's very many extraction companies that actually do that. There could be. I just don't know.
Just remember, every time you upgrade your bottleneck, you put it somewhere else.
That's true.
You got to try to even it all out.
Now Tom's my bottleneck.
Oh,
really? I'm happy to bow out. I would be very cautious about how you proceed going forward. It will not take much for me to walk out of a honey extraction process and go do anything else. Yeah.
Might have to go to JW's and snowplow or something.
Absolutely. And I don't even like doing that. but we can. I think what we'll do,
Anything beats extracting honey in my world.
yeah.
I do not like it.
I mean, JW and I could go to the lake and do some water skiing instead of extracting.
Well, I might rather extract honey than do that.
Come on. I've been working overtime on that one. Hey, Russell, do you like the Max 18? And if you don't, what don't you like about it specifically? Or is there anything that is a con on that unit, in your opinion?
I think mine and Russell's is just alike.
So Westcliff says the frames come out dry in 12 minutes, ? Seems short. I thought so too, honestly, when I thought about it.
Yeah, the newer ones are a little more user friendly, I think, than the older ones. Joey, I think that one. Russell just got a new one.
It'll spin.
My particular model, they don't even make it no more.
So you know what's funny, and I don't know this for a fact, but Matt had asked me about a certain RPM, the dial when it goes up to like 40 or 50 or 60. And I looked at it, I didn't pay any attention. The 32 frame extractor that I have goes up to, I'm gonna say RPMs, because I don't know if it's an RPM or it's a hertz, whatever it is. The 60 gauge on there, which is the highest setting, it goes up to 60.
Matt heard you say.
But the 36,
that's hertz, Tom, that's not revolutions.
I was thinking that it probably was, but I mean, it's definitely a lot more than 60 revolutions.
Yeah, because mine goes 300 and something RPMs.
Okay. So it's hertz. So I don't know what that translates to an RPM. I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure there's calculations for figuring that out. It didn't really matter to me, but the 36 that I have only went up to 50 hertz. So it's slightly slower. I think that you can probably adjust that in the program mode. So I don't know if they come out preset or sometimes they don't adjust them right or what the deal is. I never asked John, and I was going to specifically ask him about it and see what his thoughts were.
Tom had a video out on one of his units, and I'm not going to say which one it was, Tom. It runs at 20 hertz for 2 minutes, goes to 40 hertz or 30 or 40 hertz for 2 minutes, and then it goes to 50 hertz or whatever the maximum is for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Is what the program that he kind of recommended, if I understood him correctly on his little tutorial he had out on those.
That was Mac? I'm asking, was that Tom Mac? JW, I'm talking to you. You said Tom had a tutorial. Tom who? Tom Mac?
No, John. Excuse me.
John. I'm sorry. I think you said Tom.
John Hill had a tutorial out on it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
I just happened to see it. I think he had it on YouTube, maybe.
Oh, Hope says multiply hertz by 60. Okay, then. Thank you very much for that.
Oh. I'm sure he's probably correct. That sounds like lots of RPMs. You went
that's not
40 hertz times 60, that's 2,400.
Well, according to the one dial I have goes up to 60 hertz. And she said I'm sorry, where did that go?
Hertz times 60.
Multiply by 60. So that would be
RPMs.
3,600 revolutions per minute.
Yeah.
If it's the 50 hertz times 60, that's 3,000.
Yep.
And then like JW
that might be right. It's quite a bit.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, Hope. Yeah, Brian, so you said you don't mind extracting, but you just want to do it faster. I guess the big question mark will be left in your court would be, I mean, what's the investment worth for your time? I mean, I can't answer how much time it saves exactly, but all I know is when Melissa and I, up through last year,
ones that did it this year together.
yeah, Melissa and I were the only ones that extract together. My kids didn't extract. The girls didn't come up and extract. It was just her and I. And just for reference, my house was much cleaner. And I was very glad for that, honestly. So I didn't have any helpers up there doing any of it. It was just Melissa and I through the whole thing. I think Andrew helped wheel some stuff in, pull some stuff out, and help her grade a little bit when we were grading frames for light and dark. But as far as the actual extraction process, they didn't help. So
175 supers.
we had
3 days.
175 supers took about 3 days. Yeah. And I don't remember exactly how many hours we were out there. I was gonna log it and I didn't. We stayed pretty consistent at it though. Hey Matt, you're gonna have to try to calculate that growth for next year, buddy.
After a couple years of extracting, he might not be so anxious to expand his apiaries.
Maybe not. Brian, that is the exact issue I had. He said, it's just me doing it. Straining is definitely my bottleneck. And mine was too. And I have eliminated that bottleneck. I would say almost entirely for what the time for how quickly Melissa and I can work through it. Straining is not my bottleneck. It is not my bottleneck whatsoever. When it was my biggest adversary, it was my biggest problem, my biggest hurdle that I had, even through last year with the automatic on capper, running it through and the girls help. And I was still having such an issue. Well, I'm sorry. No.
Because we had the clarifier.
We had the clarifier last year, year before last. So I misspoke. This year was even better though, with this guy for one. And
the alarms were really helpful.
Yeah, the automatic float and the alarm that I got from John, actually those I'm very happy with the investment in those as well. I would do that again. Trying to think of what else, but what would you say our bottleneck is right now?
I already told you.
What?
You.
Oh, get out of here. I'm not going to talk to her about it. She's silly.
I don't really think we had one this year. I would say our only bottleneck is you could always use more help.
Yeah.
Because we actually, when the two of us were doing it, we didn't use that second extractor.
Yeah, that's true. So when just Melissa and I were doing it, because the club, a couple of the guys come up from the club, and we were extracting a club honey there at the same time in my garage as we were doing the other. There was 11 supers, and two of those guys came up, and they were working on that. Kind of at the same time we were doing ours. So we would take turns. They used the 32 frame extractor. I used the 36. So they would run 32 frames through the automatic uncapper and then check them, scrape off any excess burr comb, things like that, clean the frames up beforehand. So that way when he slid them all in the extractor, slung them all out, and he slung them out into the bucket top filters like we had before. And he was definitely much slower at it than I was. I was able to do
shuffling 3 buckets.
I mean, I was able to do almost a couple of extractions by the time he got one of his done, honestly. So that's how much time it saved me. And those guys worked on that. And then I would.
That's why I went to those paint sacks instead of those little strainers that sit on top of the bucket.
Yeah.
I don't hardly ever use them anymore. I use those sacks.
I had several of the 200, 400, and 600 micron date ant bucket top strainers that you buy for 10 or 11 bucks.
Yeah.
I'm selling all of them. I had a bunch of them. I'm selling all of them. I'm going to keep like 3 just.
Well, we have to
for a
keep
small
some
batch.
because when we do cutouts, our nephew crushes and strains the honey from cutouts.
Yeah, we'll save a few of them back, but I don't have any intention of using them anymore.
Yeah. Basically, whatever money we make with honey, we just reinvest it back into equipment or boxes or treatments.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a.
Yeah, Brian, I guess it depends on. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's definitely what is it worth to you?
What's the
kind
time
of
worth?
game. For me, it's difficult to take a full week or a week and a half out of my schedule to do this, because once I start, I don't want to stop. I just need to finish it. I need to cross it off my list and be done. I don't want to drag it out. The car don't go in the garage. I can't take other things out of the garage at the time. So it kind of disrupts our flow of what our daily operation. And I just want it to be complete. So sometimes I have to go out in the job and put out fires, if you will. So I just don't want to be tied up for too long of a time for that. So for me, it's worth the investment. And I guess if you really, really like extracting, then you could make the process slower and drag it out for yourself.
You wouldn't get in as much wave
That's true.
wakeboard time.
Yeah, we got to get this stuff done.
Which
so
I
we can get to
really
the lake.
enjoy doing, by the way. I'm thinking about trying to fish while I am surfing. Crappie fishing too, actually. Yeah, Brad, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Based upon my experience that I've had. Takes a large investment of time, usually at I want to say one sitting, but at one time of the year, basically. And it's always trying to move things around a schedule, especially if you're just doing it as a hobby level. You need to try to, dart around work and other things that you might have planned. That can always be.
Who's that? Never heard of that guy.
Time saver. Yeah, Mike actually called me and asked me a bunch of questions about it, and I did my best to answer what I could based on my experience.
Well, he bought one and made a video about it. So
he bought one. I'm glad it was actually really worth his investment of time. And actually, hey, Mike should come on here for a minute and chat with us for a minute, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he should.
I think so. Mike, just take 10 minutes if you're busy. Come on here, chat with us. Say hi to the Mike Berry fan club. I'm just glad it's over, though. I still have to clean up a couple pieces of equipment, though, still. I still have to clean up my clarifier, and the automatic gun capper is not cleaned up all the way.
Well, if you guys, some of the older guys might remember, when we used to do all this like this. That was your extractor,
Yeah.
And it was a nasty mess, and I still remember those days, and still don't like it.
If I had to do that with all those honey frames, I would probably just sell them all off. I'd say, I've got boxes of honey for sale. Come buy them. And I would sell them all off, and I would buy new boxes, and I would start over the next season.
Well, you didn't have all those, back then you didn't have all the foundation to mess with. It was all, this comb. We had to do was squeeze the comb. We didn't know what foundation was when I was, used to help my dad. He wouldn't have used it anyway if he didn't know what it was, I don't think.
Yeah. I'm just curious if anybody here in the comment section for your honey supers uses either a foundationless frame for your honey, or if they use just wax foundation, wired or not wired. Because in my experience in the past, if you use wax foundation that is not wired, you risk blowing a frame out. Now, if they're wired, I've never really seen an issue because I have a handful of wax foundations that are wired still left. Good evening, Mr. Berry.
How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'm just on the laptop. I just threw it up. I was on my way to bed, so you said a couple minutes. That's all you get.
Give the Mike Berry fan club 10 minutes of your time. Let them know what your thoughts were, how it worked out for you.
That clarifier, that thing worked great. I tell you what, I got a lot of different comments on how I'm supposed to be using it. That's the only thing I can say. Everybody said I was wrong. It was wrong. It was built wrong. It was built right. Some people are telling me that they need to go all over the top. I'm like, well, that's
No.
just going to send all the wax down the way, you know?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah. So,
No.
And I will say this.
Any clarifier of any kind I've ever seen, one's over the top, one's under the bottom, next one over the top.
Well, somebody also said there was one that you go all under. And I'm like, well, the problem is that when Hilco sent it to me, I think they sent it wrong. They sent me 2 over the tops. I can't remember exactly, but Tom, I talked to him about it. I just drilled him in the ground with all the questions I had because I watched him use his, and I got to be honest, when I finally got it to where it was going, how'd I do it? It went under, then it went over, and then it went under, and it worked like a champ. And then when you let it set overnight and let it just settle, the honey is just as clean as it can be. There's no wax in it.
Yeah.
Like there's wax, but it's tiny, tiny, tiny particles, and that comes through the strainers anyway. So I found it to be great. And so then I found a whole bunch more honey the last few days. I was going to clean it up. And I'm like, shoot, I'm getting ready to put it back in service. I had to go borrow my honey pump back from Kenny. And I'm firing that thing up probably tomorrow or Monday for sure.
And how did you like the pump itself?
No, the pump is fabulous. The pump. I wish I'd had the pump months ago.
Yeah.
The pump is great. The way it goes right back in reverse.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Kenny borrowed it for a day, and he's putting in an order for the Louisiana show to pick one up. It really is, and I knew it because I worked Hilco's booths, and this is not a Hilco advertisement. It's just a good pump, but I worked their booth in Mississippi and in Louisiana, but in Mississippi, I really got to talking to John and to Rollin out there, and we talked about that pump, and that thing will pump creamed honey. I mean, not creamed, fully creamed, but out of the creamer. That thing is, and it's easy to take apart and clean. So I think it's a great pump. And the fact that you can flip that switch and go right back in reverse just as fast as you brought it in, to me is in the variable speed. That's another thing that you can speed it up, slow it down, do whatever you want with it. So, and then I got one of those float switches by that guy that Joey and I advertised his little switch that we have for him, the float switch.
Yeah, the float switch thing, yeah.
Yeah, the alarm. He's actually working on some float switches to kick your pump on and off as well. But he built me one for the clarifier that will fit on the ledge. So now I can sit there and continue to cut my comb and let the clarifier fill right up. And as soon as I hear it beep, I can stop cutting comb, go pump the clarifier out, and keep on rolling. So,
well, Mike, whenever that switch becomes available to you, I will promise you, if you purchase it and use it in your operation, you'll not be disappointed.
And it'd be good, right? And what I like about it is that I'm going to make sort of like Horshoff has. He has an elbow that hangs on his drums. I'm going to make an elbow that hangs on my buckets, to where I can just kick that thing on, and it'll just do its thing. I won't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Or drums down the road, but right now buckets is more feasible for me. I don't ever want to have to get the drums really.
Well, you could always put a couple drums in there, Mike. Pump everything into the drum first, let it settle additionally, and if you need to do any little straining on the top, then you can pump it down into buckets as you need it. I mean, just
I thought about that. I thought about having about 3 drums in there, just to save space. I don't have anything lifted with, so what I would do is just put them on roller boards or drum rollers, and
that's what we have.
And then I could just pump them out. The only thing it would require is one of those handy dandy drum heaters. Those aren't cheap, but the blankets. But if I stored it long term, but I was thinking about drums for space saving, really, because that pump. Matter of fact, Kenny has just switched to drums because the pump afforded him so much flexibility. So that pump, for the price you pay for it, and they're getting, if you go to a show, I know I asked Hilco how much they were giving off at this show because I'm supposed to help them at this Louisiana convention. It's 10%. So I'm like, man, if you got a show coming up, go take advantage of it and get one if you really move a lot of honey, because those things, wow, that's a nice pump. We'll see. Time will tell. You never know. He's still new, so we never know what'll happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing that I like about it is when I'm thinking out loud about the pump itself, it's extremely simple. There's not a lot of moving parts.
It's not loud either.
You can't even hear it
No,
run.
it's quiet.
Yeah, you can't even hear it run. If you're trying to listen to music in there, what have you, and you need to know what the pump's on, and you kind of have to look at it going through the clear hose, because I can't hear it run. So I don't know. It's very simple. I mean, you don't have a lot of components in there to break or go wrong. It's kind of like a keep it simple, stupid. You don't need to overcomplicate a pump. I mean, and the little impeller in there is rubber, so it's replaceable too. So if over time it aged or started to get a little bit, and I don't know how long that would be. Maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 15. I don't know. I mean, at some point in time, it would need to be replaced. But
that is the only thing with John's stuff is, he's still kind of new. So, but he's getting to where he's 5 and 6 years old now, and things are still rolling out pretty well. So I trust it. I trust that he's sourcing it properly. He's building it properly, because everything I've got, I haven't had any issues with anything that I bought from him. So I haven't had to go back to him. I know some people have, but that pump looks, like you said, so simple. It's like a boat impeller in there.
Yeah.
So I don't
know. Mike, did you see the? You may not have seen it because Tom just showed it on one of the lives that we did. But Tom had one of our friends fabricate basically a creeper for.
Oh, he told me about it. I'm looking. I'm going to be looking for one next year.
I don't know if I have.
There should be pictures, I think.
I know, but
I mean, it actually works really well. He has actually yet to bill me for it, so don't ask me what it cost. He's always been extremely fair with me, so I'm not really worried about that part. But I don't know. It worked well for what I needed it. I told him specific things, and we kind of designed what I was looking for. I don't know if it worked.
Yeah, just like a creeper, so it sits down with the casters up.
Yeah,
that'd be perfect for what I do.
It even has the cutout right here for the little drain valve down low. And that thing sits about 5/8 of an inch off the floor.
Let me see if I can find a picture of the thing on it. I don't know if I have one on my here.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because that is the only issue with the tank, is that once you've got it where you've got it, if you don't have something like that, it's not moving.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really need to move. And I'm able to drain my tank and my extractor in it. So I literally cut an 8-hour job into 4 hours, literally in half.
Yeah. I figured that would probably work even for what you were doing, Mike. I'm like, you're asking me about it, and I wanted to be as honest as I could, but I can only tell you my experience and what I've used it for, and how many pounds or gallons of honey that I've ran through it. So it's difficult for me to say where is the point of diminishing returns for your investment.
Like what Brian was asking.
I mean, how many gallons of honey do you have to run through it to really start to see your investment? It's going to start to taper off at some point. I just don't know what that is.
It depends who you are and what you're doing. I'd say if you've got 1,000 pounds or 1,500 pounds or less, you could probably do just fine if you've got time on your hands in the evenings and you work a full-time job. I think once you start getting over that, if you're doing it with strainers, anything over, you start getting up to 2,000 pounds, you're starting to get into some time.
Yeah.
I had about 2,000 bucketed before I bought that. I probably did the last 1,500 through that. And it was amazing how much quicker. I thought to myself, my goodness.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? I knew I wanted it. I wanted it back in Mississippi when I was at the show there.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't keep you from moving buckets inevitably, because you're putting them in buckets, and so am I. Right now it's all sitting in drums. They're sitting in 7 drums in my garage, all sealed up. But at some point they go into buckets, so I can move them into my bottling tank for one, and then I'll also sell them off. Now, if I really wanted to, I could actually very, very easily, from my garage into my basement little honey room where everything's at, I could actually run a hose mechanism through there and actually pump it straight down into the bottling tank if I wanted to, without having to carry any buckets whatsoever.
Right.
I chose to do that. But so, the idea that you don't have to lift, if you fill up a 5-gallon bucket and it's 60 pounds, honestly, it's a lot easier to carry 2 than to carry 1. But I mean, there's nobody in this chat that wants to carry a 60-pound bucket anywhere. And some people just flat out can't. So there's that. I mean, you could obviously fill them up lesser if you want to, but for
It's
us,
more trips you gotta take.
space is a commodity. So I need them to be all full and tucked in a tight little corner where they're out of my way. So
Here, this was another piece of equipment we got at Nobby this last year that was very helpful. This little
the crap
box breaker thing.
I got one of those about 2 years ago, and that thing is really nice.
Yeah.
I think was that Klusner Farms. Klusner.
Kinsner.
Kunzer.
Kunzer
Farm.
yeah.
It's made out of oak, and I'm telling you, that thing is sturdy. I actually waxed it. I waxed it my equipment earlier this year, so there's nothing sticks to that. And I mean, nothing absorbs into it and sticks to it. It works really well. As a matter of fact, the buddy of mine who fabricated some of the other stainless pieces that I had him do for me, I asked him to make me a unboxer, I guess if you want to call it that, which would be a simple version of that with a stainless table and all. And he didn't have time to do it because I needed it within a few days. But he said that he would absolutely get to it and we come up with a design. So we had a little table there with that, box cracker, whatever you want to call it there. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make one out of stainless to mount up to the back of it. So,
and talking about that pump too, another thing I'm going to do with that pump is once I get done with this and once Kenny gets his and he don't have to borrow mine, I'm actually even going to pump my buckets into my bottler. I'm not going to lift much of anything with that. I'll warm them in my warming cabinet, and kind of like Brad has his in his warming cabinet. I keep 2 at a time, and I'm gonna just pump them right into my bottler because it'll pull slightly crystallized honey. It'll pull it through there. So I'm gonna do it, and then I'll just spatula the rest of it out.
Pale Hive says 5 sets of 20 curls with 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, Paul. Good. Yeah, well, let's watch you do that.
I could not do that. Sorry.
Hans and Franz. Yeah. That's his age showing.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Paul Hale, it doesn't help you out any, but he'll be in near the Kansas City, Missouri in October 18th. If you want to come up, he'll be there. And then he'll be in St. Louis in February.
Michael with 21st Bees.
Yes, I'm sorry, Michael 21st.
If nobody's following the chat, it's like, what's Tom spewing about?
Good evening, Brad. How are you tonight?
I'm well. How are y'all?
We couldn't have it any better.
Fantabulous.
Nice to see everybody.
Yes, sir.
We're just out for the afternoon. Got home and do some relaxing and turned on the chat.
You're like, what nonsense going on tonight?
Well, I knew there was some kind of nonsense, but thought I'd come in and see exactly what kind. I see you've conscripted the world famous Mike Berry in tonight.
For a little bit. Just a little bit. I missed you Brad. It was such a mess. We left late because of the honey harvest, the way it worked out, and we took off. But I told my wife, I said, we've got to figure this out next year for Winnipeg. We got to. Because we really wanted to take our camper all the way there. We had our camper in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was 6 hours. No, it was 6.5 hours to you from there. Because how far are you from International Falls? Because we were 2 hours from there.
Oh, I don't know. International Falls? That's quite a ways.
Yeah.
Isn't that Thunder Bay? International Falls?
No. It's way on the other side of Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay is a long way from you. So we would have, if we should have went 2 days earlier, is what we should have done. That was our plan. It didn't work out.
Well, bring the rig, and there's plenty of space out here. You can step out your camper and work my bees if you want.
I will. I'll pull it right up there, and we don't even have to have air conditioning up there.
No. You
Be sure to bring his bug spray now, Brad. Be sure and try to bring his bug spray.
And bugs, man.
This summer, because it's been so dry, there's really no bugs right now. It
was opposite in Minnesota this year. In Minnesota, they had a ton of rain over and over and over, and the bugs were a lot worse than they were in July usually.
This says 4.5 hours. Fort Francis.
About 5 hours.
Okay, so that's right. So 2 hours Francis. From where I was at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna make it work though. I'm too close to not. I mean, I was in Canada for 4 days and 4 nights and 5 days.
Yeah,
but I was
you're
paddling through the Quetico.
you're going to
Venture
come this
Park.
far. You know, it'd be great to have you visit for sure.
Time you get up there, Mike, it'll be a state. You won't have to.
Yeah, right. No, that ain't happening. But
Only if we're lucky.
now we'll get across that border and get up there. I know that. Well, we're going to go up anyway sometime, but.
Yeah.
Oh, Eddie said, are the bugs as bad in Canada as they are up here? Eddie, you only think we have mosquitoes down here. We don't have mosquitoes down here in Louisiana. We like to say we do, but when you go up there to Minnesota, Canada, the little black flies in Ontario, oh my gosh, those things are, oh my goodness.
No
we
black
don't have
flies here.
Oh, we don't have bugs down here like y'all got up there.
Yeah, no black flies here, thankfully. But
that's good. Those things are a mess.
Plenty other. So the upside is because it's so dry here, no mosquitoes right now. There's no mosquitoes. I had a lot of wood ticks in the spring, but I don't see them anymore. Downside is when it's dry, we get those horse flies. Those fuckers bite. Oh, those bite. That hurts when they bite you. They're big. But it is what it is. Our snakes don't hurt us. Got plenty of snakes, but they don't. They're not a threat. They just eat crickets and frogs. No gators.
Yeah, we got gators.
Yeah.
I don't like.
No gators. No hive beetles.
Cool, we got those. They're running wild right now.
Leave them there.
I'll bring a few up with me. See how they do in the summer up there. They'll die in the winter though.
Yeah, we'll do some citizen science, hey Mike?
Right, we'll bring some up and we'll let you study them. I'll bring a whole jar full of them. We'll dump in a couple of hives while it's warm to see how they react.
Tell them who did it, and you won't get it back across the border.
Yeah. Stop by customs.
You're the guy we're looking for.
Yeah, I got to turn my tanks off too if I bring my rig across the line. They say you can't have open propane, so you can't run a fridge.
Yeah, I always kind of wonder about that. I know there's some regulations in different places. We often try to turn the fridge off when we pull into a gas station because, it's an open flame, right?
It's open flame, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's actually, they say you do have to turn the gas off though as soon as you cross the border. But
turn the tank off.
Fridge. Yeah, you got to turn the tank off. If you get caught with the tank, it's fine. But
I wonder why that is at the border. Like, why would they care at the border?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't want anybody with faulty lines or something. I'm not sure, but we have a 12-volt fridge now, so I don't even run the gas when I ride anymore.
Right. Yeah. Well, that'd be a real treat to host you for sure. Don't y'all come all at once, but it goes for all y'all. Is that how you say that, Mike? All y'all?
Yeah.
Y'all.
All y'all don't all y'all come at once.
We're gonna plan a whole caravan.
Yeah. Well, there's only 20 acres here, so you can camp until it's full.
Oh man.
Well, you got to watch
everybody over the chat. 20 acres.
What's that, Joey?
So we can get everybody over in the chat in 20 acres.
Oh yeah,
likely.
We're gonna have
you and Tom. They'll show up out of the clear blue on you if you're not careful.
Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of.
Joey, I shared a picture that everybody's gonna want to see down there.
You ready?
Yep, I'm ready whenever you are.
That's for Philip. That's for Philip Morrison here. He knows what that's about.
What are you laying around for? You're supposed to be working.
Yeah.
That won't cut it in my yard.
Tom and Matt laying around.
Didn't he? What live chat did he do that on, Joey? Was that yours? When Philip
last week.
Okay.
We had to go up and meet Matt for so. What were we getting from Matt? Oh, you were getting.
You're getting stuff for the hives.
You were getting hypothetical treatments for the hives. What beekeeping centerfold is that for? Michael wants to know.
Wherever we get the most money, I guess.
A summer training camp.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you want to learn how to do it the wrong way, then I guess we can probably set that up. This is how you kill bees.
That was it. So that's where Matt keeps bees. One of the places Matt keeps bees, and it's actually at a nature preserve or something, isn't it? Wasn't it a nature preserve?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a really cool place, actually. Hey, you said it's a dead out. It was not a dead out. Every one of those colonies had bees in it, buddy.
Actually, Matt was apprehensive.
Yeah.
Matt was on here. Matt was a little apprehensive about going and laying in front. He's like, "You're probably going to get lit up."
Well, I mean, those were Matt's hives. I've never worked those hives. I have no idea of the temperament or anything in regards to those. And I said to him, like, "Hey, we need to make a picture for Philip." And that was last week sometime.
Yeah.
I don't remember when it was even. Wednesday? Maybe.
Like
it wasn't Thursday because we were. Yeah, maybe it was Wednesday or something. Anyway, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, yeah.
And then Matt's like, "You better take a shower as soon as you get home because you're probably going to get chiggers."
What's up, Big Mike?
Just got back in from moving some hives.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all go. I stopped in, like you said, Tom.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I did
Good
pretty pleased with it. I'm happy to be settling honey now rather than straining it. So,
well, I'm just glad that, when you asked me for it, I felt, I didn't want to steer you wrong, but, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm like, this is how it works for me. I hope that it would work the same for you. And I hope that the investment would pay off for you. So I'm glad to hear you say that. I just wouldn't, for your own sake, I wouldn't want you to say, yeah, I really wish I wouldn't have bought it. I would have felt bad. So I'm really glad it worked out. So, and actually,
you helped me a lot.
John just jumped on here. And he's the guy that from J&L Apiaries that makes the alarms and also the switching mechanism.
Right. He's making that switch. Yep. That's the one. I'm going to get that for next year.
That worked really good. That worked really well.
It did. And I'm telling you, it was worth my investment. If it didn't work, I would just say, hey, you know what? It was great. I probably wouldn't buy it again, but honestly, I actually would buy it again. So,
if I didn't have, but I pulled an extra 20 supers off that I found the past couple days, and if I'd had like 40 or 50, I probably would go ahead and buy it. But I'm not going to buy it until next year. So
yeah,
I definitely want one next year though, so that it'll just pump honey for me constantly. And I'm probably going to just pump straight in the buckets and skim the buckets later. The only reason I didn't really want to skim them was I would have had to move them all. So I'm going to do a strategic way where I can stack them and not have to move them all, where I can just pull the lids and skim them, and then that'll be it. So I won't have to use any of it anymore. Hopefully I just, the strainers will be a bygone era type of thing. So, but yeah, anyway, y'all have a good one. Enjoy talking with y'all real quick. I am off to bed.
Night, Mike.
Nice
We'll
to
see you
Mike.
Monday.
Yeah, I'll get with you Monday, Joey. I think I'm going to ride with you, but I'll call you.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Good night.
Good night, Mike. JW, you getting some weather there behind you or what?
Yeah, it snowed this morning.
No, you're pulling my leg.
Pretty well melted off here this afternoon, though.
Yeah.
That's not snow. That's probably smoke come down on the ground from the
Yeah.
fires.
That's from, I don't know, that's from days going by. I got tired looking at the same stuff, so I just stuck it up as a screensaver, so to speak.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I was really happy to see these little nukes bursting at the seams
Yeah.
this week.
Hmm.
You know, I put those up. I raised some queens and put those up and crossed my fingers that they would grow up, and looks like they're going to be just fine. I think I counted 47. So
That's
that's
good.
nice. That's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, puts the sugar bill up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always that.
You guys think I'm having a worm fit or something? I'm playing with my little dog here.
Oh, yeah.
while we're on the live, I'm moving around quite a bit.
Hey, Joey, would you go to the private chat for a minute, please?
Hmm.
So you're just getting, Brad, you're just getting ready to clean up your honey room to start.
Yeah, my honey house is just a disaster. I do all kinds of stuff in there in the summer, and then I need to start getting it in shape for extracting.
So
I
when do
probably won't pull until, let me see, probably 2 more weeks. Probably, yeah. It'll be a couple of weeks before I set escapes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'll end up with a pretty good harvest?
Oh, absolutely not. It's going to be the worst harvest in 10 years.
Well,
Wow.
I hate to hear that.
Is it because it was too dry or too wet?
I don't know. Well, it certainly weren't too wet. We've hardly had any rain this season. We've had enough to green things up, and that's it.
I think we had all rain
I
down
don't
here.
know. I don't know if I think there's probably just a lot of things at play. You know, the smoke, lack of rain. There's been a lot more acres being cultivated around my area,
Mm-hmm.
so less natural forage, which is what I depend on. There's not usually any big canola fields nearby, which is good. I don't want the canola honey, but I depend on the natural clovers and whatnot. If there's a big alfalfa field, I'll take that. But yeah, you know, my 2 yards that I'm running right now are 10 miles apart, and they're equally as poor in honey collection. So I don't think it's just the available forage necessarily, although it's kind of poor around there too. So yeah, it is what it is, right? I'll harvest it and it'll go in the inventory. We'll see. I had an exceptionally good harvest last year, so that'll carry me farther into 26 before I have to start selling the 25 honey. I'm expecting I might start to run low June or July 26. So it might really push my 26 harvest.
Mm-hmm.
I have in the past run really low, and I've gone out early August and cherry picked a few boxes of honey
Right. Yeah.
to extract, so I could
To get you
jar
along till you're
some
full.
up
Yeah.
to fill the store, you know. So that might be what 26 looks like this time around.
Yeah. Do you see Philip's comment there for you, Brad?
Yeah.
Do I? Oh, I'm actually looking on full screen, so I don't see the comments.
Let's see. I'll bring it up. Let's see what.
Yeah, survived 3 days of summer. Yeah, you know, other than a lack of rain, it's been a really nice summer, because it's not rained much. You know, I've had a lot of really nice days to work. Today it actually rained quite a bit today, and it's supposed to have showers for the next couple of days. So I'm looking forward to that. But I could have used that a month ago. You know,
Too little, too late. Is that right?
that's farming though, right?
Yes, it is.
And there's always something. Next year's always my year. Next year's going to be my year for the last 3 years.
Brian says he has to cherry pick in May to get honey for the markets in spring.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I've always, it's always worked out. For 10 years now, it's always worked out. So
Yeah. Yep.
it is a fact that it's a very low yield.
Good night,
Now,
Mark.
I don't know what his average is going to turn out to be, but when I was down at Ian's, boy, that boy's making some honey.
When isn't he making honey?
Well, he doesn't always, like, sometimes it's a little bit lower, but boy, I don't think this is going to be one of those years.
Yeah.
I was taking the lids off those colonies, and I have an 8-foot reach, right? I can reach 8 feet high, and I could hardly reach some of those covers on those
Hmm.
hives. They're 9 deeps high,
That's crazy.
and it's like I've got my good hives are too.
Sanderson.
Hmm.
Like these two right here. That's my good hives.
Yeah. Yeah, we had at least 2 supers on every hive. Some of them had 3. I don't know if you had any that had 4 supers on them, did you?
There's a couple.
Maybe a couple. But our stacks were so tall because we had we run double deep. So we'd have a double deep, 3 supers, and then Tom still had double screen boards and then another colony on top of that. And so there'd be another double deep and then another super. so those
more
those
of
are
a
tall.
more of a two, almost a 2 queen system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was only that way because it was a space, trying to maximize the amount of space that we had before we didn't have time, and I was having kidney stone issues and whatnot, so I couldn't help. So he couldn't move everything to another yard yet. So we just kept them. He kept them stacked like that. It worked out okay though.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to have tall hives and whatnot. I've got some nice improvements to my hive lifter, so I'm all ready to hit those 5 and 6 deep colonies, and it's not going to get much of a test this year. Oh well.
So I have the same hive lifter as you, Brad. The other day I went to lower it, wouldn't shut off. Lowered it, unspooled it, pulled it back up to
Pull
the
it back
top.
up the other way.
Yeah, and then the wires all started smoking. Cooked it.
You couldn't hit the switch.
No, that melted and went inside the box.
Huh.
The on-off switch down on the plastic where he's got the battery.
Yeah.
That went inside the.
I think when did you buy yours, Mike?
3 years ago.
Does
Mine's
it
all
have-
aluminum and galvanized.
You've got the aluminum one.
Yeah.
And it has a cable or a rope.
Yeah, rope.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know how many iterations there are, but a buddy of mine down the road has one that fits that description, has the rope. It's made out of aluminum. It's not as tall as mine. And yeah, and he's had to re-engineer his a little bit too.
Yeah.
But
And,
yeah, I don't know.
He makes it in 2 pieces so he can box it up a little smaller.
Yeah.
I was looking at yours, Joey, the other day because I got the same one. Looks like he double pinned yours. Well, he only put a pin in one of mine, so when you drag it out of the truck, the handle splits in half and pulls all the wires apart.
Oh, really?
That's handy.
Oh yeah, then he drilled it for your boxes, not mine. So if I put it on the sideways like you do, it doesn't even grab one side. And of course, I need to pull honey, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of that are 6 mediums high.
Yeah.
I'm just leaving it on there. I got the parts will be in. I ordered them out of Texas, right where he
Mediums.
got them from. What's
Dude,
that?
mediums. You can unload those with one hand. Mediums.
I have 200 of them. I'm not doing that. No, I'm as old as you. I'm not doing it.
Find a teenage boy to go out there and do it for you.
Every time I pick up a full medium of honey, I think, oh, I'm switching to mediums.
Yeah, but
And then
you got to pick up 6 to put the escape board in.
well, but then I do the math and I realize it's going to cost me $20,000 to switch. The thing, I'll stick with my deeps.
See, that's one reason why we use the fume boards. That way we don't have to, the less you have to touch stuff, the better. I don't have to pick up those.
Yeah.
We don't have to go out and lift up all those supers to put the escape on and put them back down. That's why we use the fume boards.
Yeah.
Visit to the yard.
That's a lot of running for me to do by myself.
Well, it's one visit to the bee yard and one time touching the super.
If
one person.
if you have the equipment to do it efficiently and all goes well, the escapes are way faster than fume boards. But I get your point. I'll use both.
Yeah.
And Philip, yes, that they're just a windbreak, just to keep the wind at the ground level sort of attenuated a bit.
I would say the downfall to a fume board is if it's not sunny and warm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I found is not efficient.
Yeah.
You use anywhere between 8 and 10 of them with 3 to 4 people in the yard pulling the honey supers off, and you can stay ahead of it, flipping through them as you kind of go through. And it works well for us and for our operation. I'll say that.
Yeah.
If I had something that like a lift on a truck or something similar to what Ian has, or something similar to that, I would probably use an escape because I wouldn't have a problem lifting it twice.
I'll go and set my escapes, come back, but I always bring my fume boards with me.
Mm-hmm.
If I pull those boxes or lift the lids and they didn't clear, then fume boards go on. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm pulling fairly late in the summer, so sometimes it's not very sunny and it needs to be sunny.
Mm-hmm.
If it's overcast, they're not going to work very well.
They don't. You're right.
Yeah, it worked really well for us this year because Tom and I were running the fume boards and the blowers with the boxes. And then our one son, Isaac, was, after we got him cleared, taking the boxes over to the truck. And Andrew was on the back of the truck stacking the boxes and covering them up. So we had a really good system going on there. It worked good.
There's a question there for you, Brad.
Yeah, I'm not watching the.
He answered that about the pallets.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
He answered.
Oh, he didn't answer that one.
Somebody asked if John with his bucket alarm was going to be at Nobby.
Oh, yeah. So anybody who is interested to know if John will be at Nobby with the bucket alarm, and also I'm assuming other devices. I don't want to say for sure. Would let him answer that if he's still in the comment section. But yeah, he said he will be at Nobby. So if anybody's here is interested in picking up those products, you'll be able to see them in person and put your hot hands on them. Come Nobby. I have no idea how many he's going to have. But I mean, you can probably email him at jlaperies.com. I think, John, if you're still in here.
Well, he'd have to text it to you and you'd have to tell it to Joey. So Joey.
I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, but I bought this little thing for an unrelated purpose. This is just a moisture sensor, a moisture alarm. And I got looking at this and I got thinking, I don't know how food grade this is, but the little sensor pad has a suction cup on one side that would stick to the inside of a bucket or a clarifier. And then the sensor pads are on the other side. So you could stick that on the wall of something and then the alarm would go off. Oh, sorry. And so that's the little sensor pad with the suction cup on the back. So you can stick that on a bucket or something, and then the alarm will go off. And cheap.
Yeah.
Runs on a 9-volt battery.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, Paul.
Again, I don't know how food grade that is, but.
Paul says, I'm too old to have 2 more sons, though. You got to feed them for several years before they're productive.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Paul. Excuse me. I'm tired.
Philip says he'd like to try bee escape, so he worries about giving hive beetles a head start. So you use bee escapes, do you have noticed more hive beetles in your supers because the bees aren't patrolling up there?
No hive beetles here.
Well, don't brag about it.
Well, if the question was for me, I was trying to think. Was she asking me? Because I have no
I
hive
think he's
beetles.
just asking in general. Whoever uses
I don't know
it.
what the time schedule is for the hive beetles, but I think if I remember, what Mike Berry was saying, for example, that he would pull honey and then he needs to get it extracted within about 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that would eat up the 3 days because that's about the interval to leave the skateboard on. So yeah, that would eat up that 3 days.
Yep.
Now, mind you, the supers are not cleared day one, right? You're leaving them 3 days so that
Mm-hmm.
they clear. So, you know, I do know that you need to make sure your boxes are nice and tight and
Yeah.
no upper entrance or anything like that.
You pretty much need to extract as soon as you pull them.
Yeah, I imagine you would. So if you needed to dry your honey, sit it in the honey house, let it dry or something, you might run into troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Mike was talking about the desiccation of the larva. I think he said that when he sets it in his honey house, puts the box fan on it, that drying out the larva in that way kind of gets rid of the beetle problem.
Yeah, somewhere around. You get your humidity down at least below 45.
Yeah, I thought it was like, something like
Yeah.
that.
I try to keep mine when I got honey boxes in here around 35 to 40,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
the eggs aren't viable anymore. They won't hatch.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
I try to keep it around 78, 80 degrees and as low as I can on the humidity
Mm-hmm.
when I got some in here. So far, no issues doing it that way. And I put the fans on top.
Yeah. Good.
Philip says, "Sons produce. I'm still waiting."
We just keep it at minus 20 in the winter. And they go away.
Minus 20. That works
Yeah.
well for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing about minus 20, minus 30, minus 40 around here is keeps the critters down. We can tell. We get a mild winter. Boy, there's a lot of critters in next summer. Holy smokes. This year has been like that. And that's, I think, why we had so many wood ticks early on in this year, because the winter was actually fairly mild.
Philip Isaac had a really good day at the market today. It was his best day at the market, and he was by himself today. So he did one of the sons produced today.
I'm not sure. He might have found it. Who knows? He might have found a girl at the thing too. You never know. I think that's why he goes there.
Before I forget it, let me go ahead and make this little announcement again. I made it earlier. Next Saturday, I will not be doing a live. Some of y'all can do it if you want to. I got 2 grandchildren starting LSU, and their move-in date is next Saturday.
Oh, cool.
One of them's in the morning, and the other one's like 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'll never make it back from Baton Rouge in time to start a live. So I'll be out that time. And on the following Saturday, which is the 23rd, I'll be at the Louisiana State Convention, Beekeepers Convention then. And that one's still kind of iffy. I may get back in time to start that one, and I may not. I don't know. I just have to play that one by ear.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all welcome to just take it and run with it.
Huh? Next Saturday we just have a market. It ends at 4, and then the 23rd we're out of town for a speaking engagement. Next weekend is this.
Oh yeah.
And then the
That's
following weekend
close.
is that.
Oh yeah.
So, do many of you remember that last winter I built that big yellow store display? Remember that video? Built that thing and took it. I took it over to a daycare, and the kids painted that for me, and then I
Mhm.
took it over to the store and put it in place.
Mhm.
Well, next week they invited me to come out and bring my observation hive, and so next week I'm going to load up the bees and go out to the daycare, show the kids the bees.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be cool. They'll like that.
Yeah.
That should be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
It was a few years ago. I was going somewhere and I had my bees in the truck, and I had to drop by there for some reason. And I said, "Hey, why don't I, spend half an hour and I'll bring these bees out?" And so I did, and wow, that was a big hit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I couldn't stay, so
Who knows, Brad? Maybe you could provoke or entice in some form or fashion a youngster to develop some, infatuation with bees, and they could be the next researcher. You never know.
or they could grow up, want to be a beekeeper and buy my brand when I want to retire.
There you go. Or that. You never know.
It's all about me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like going to to the elementary schools and talking to kids and stuff like that. That's fun.
And I asked her if she wanted me to bring anything else, and she didn't really say anything. I don't have a program. I don't have a presentation at all. Just, there's going to be all kinds of different ages of students there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Students, kids,
So
little kids.
when I do the elementary kids, I usually just start it out with a question, like ask them what they know about bees. Like, what do you know about bees? And then kind of just turn it into a conversation, not really I'm sitting up there giving them a presentation, telling them everything. And that way it keeps them stimulated and interested, because they're kind of asking the questions and telling me what they do and don't know. And I when I do that, I usually talk for like 15 minutes, and then I have different stuff set out on tables for them to go look at for about 5 or 10 minutes after that.
Right. Well, I was out. I did my manipulating my comb honey frames, and I got too much space in a lot of them, and they started building comb and whatnot. So I had to take it all out and whatnot. So I had these really nice comb lobes that were perfectly white and perfectly formed, and I thought, okay, so I put those in a Ziploc bag, keep them clean, and then I can give those to students, and they can do what they want with them, because they just go in the melter otherwise, right? So I'll take a bee jacket so they can take pictures in the bee jacket, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Make sure to wash it first, Brad. Sometimes our bee jackets stink.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think I'll take my bee jacket, and I think no, I think I'll take my wife's bee jacket because
there you go.
So I also
really dirty.
I take honey straws, and I give honey straws to the teacher to hand out when the kids go home. So I don't give, because I don't want to clean up a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give a kid something that they may or may not be allergic to. So I give it to the teacher to give it to the kid to take home.
Yeah, so it should be fun.
Oh, Philip brings up a pretty good point there with bringing the bees with the kids in the chat there, in the comment section.
Sorry, again, I'm not.
Says keep them covered so the kids don't get excited and out of control seeing the bees.
Yeah, I keep mine closed until we get through talking. Then
Well, that's the thing. When I have a presentation, that's what I'll do. I'll leave it closed, and then I'll lift the blind, and we can look at the bees. This visit is to look at the bees.
Yeah.
So, I like to go in and, just say hi, how are you, and then we'll just look at the bees. I don't know how long I'll be there. Even might be half an hour. I don't know.
Yeah. Preschool kids probably about a half hour would be.
Yeah.
About it.
Me and my wife's been doing schools several years now, And the first year I did it, I actually borrowed Mr. Ed's little gag box.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I built one. I've got my own now, and every year those teachers are looking forward to us bringing that in for those kids to scare them. I tell you, one of the funniest times I had.
A gag box.
Yeah.
Is that where you put the kids if they're too boisterous? You put the kids in there.
No, I don't know if you ever saw Mr. Ed's, but
I don't know what that is.
He's got like a beekeeping.
It's got those snakes in a can. You know the snakes in the can.
Okay, yeah,
they had years ago. It's got several of them in it, and you got the lid closed down on them, and when you open it, the snakes jump out.
All right.
But I always tell the kid, all the kids, this is a different observation hive. You look at it down through the top. And I always tell them that I hit a bump, and I think my glass lid came loose. I got to peek in there first to make sure nothing's going to come out. And then when I swing that thing open, and I have them all lined up, I'll put my bee suit on. Ask if any volunteers want to come get in front and look at it closely. And they'll still come up there and want to get close, and I'll have my suit on. But they'll jump a little bit. So I knew something like that was going to happen. But the funniest time I ever done it was several years ago. One of the coaches had come in to watch the last presentation, and he was standing right by the door. And when those snakes come out that box, he ran out that door. Left the kids and everybody in there and ran out that door.
It's like George Costanza in a fire, eh?
Yeah.
So that's the highlight of my plans.
Oh, Matt was brave. He took a queen in a roller cage and let the kids pass it around.
Wow.
Yeah. I started to do like his name just left me. The beekeeper in New Orleans. Why did I just forget his name? I said, no, I better not do that. The youngin will be trying to put a bee in his mouth, but he'll take those drones.
Oh yeah.
Drones in his mouth.
See, you were saying about the snakes. I was thinking, well, I'll take a box of drones, right? And then just kind of let them go.
Yeah.
Let them fly around the room.
Oh yeah, teachers would be freaking out.
And you know what the drones sound like, right? They sound like tiny B-17s, right?
Yeah.
Around the room.
Hey, Brad, teachers probably wouldn't invite you back.
No, they wouldn't.
There would be mass chaos inside there.
So I do the one elementary school I do every year. They have like a Missouri Heritage, I don't know, something like that. And so I go there. I've done it every year for like 4 or 5 years now. So a lot of these kids have already seen my whole presentation multiple times. But as soon as, because they know I give the teacher honey sticks. So as soon as they walk in my room, you bring the honey? Did you bring the honey?
Yeah.
That's all they want to know, that they're getting their honey.
Have you seen Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah. Did you bring the honey? Did you bring the honey? It's fun.
Well, yeah, we've been on a little over 2 hours. I think I'm going to go ahead and close the chat down. Appreciate everybody over in the chat coming in, visiting with us, and everybody come in the studio. Appreciate it. And we'll be talking to y'all. Y'all going to try to do next Saturday?
Do
y'all?
you want to do it next Saturday?
Up to y'all.
Ask JW. Will you do it with us, JW?
I'm pretty flexible, you know that. So
Okay, sure. We'll do it.
All right.
So
All right.
We'll do it on our channel. Keep your meat stick away from me.
No.
We'll do it on our channel next week.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Right.